Welcome to Never Alone from Harbor Place with Jack Waldrop, the Executive Director of Harbor Place. And good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, I thought of you this weekend.
Uh-oh. What'd I do?
No, it's what I was doing. I was vacuuming. And I thought, this is getting old. Oh, don't have to worry about that at Harbor Place, that's for sure.
No, sir. We do all that for you.
Oh, I'm about ready. Oh my. So what's going on at Harbor Place?
Not a lot going on right now. I mean, we're busy with move-ins and planning events and things that will be coming up in the next couple of weeks. This week, though, it is thankfully a little slower because we do have some crazy weeks coming up.
Yeah, you guys are, it seems like once fall hits, it's almost a dead sprint to the end of the year.
That is the truth. That is the truth. This seems to be the highest time where, right now, your August and September are a little slower. And then we start picking up in September or October, November, December. And then January is really big. That's because families have gone home for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, and they've seen declines in parents in those time periods. So we start to pick up and it gets a little crazy towards the end of the year.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. And of course, where would you like to spend your time? You want to spend it in sub-zero temperature or down here,
we get a lot of snowbirds in our independent living that come for 3 and 4 months and then they go back up north. We actually have a very sweet lady that comes here for 6 months out of the year, and she's in Paris for 6 months out of the year. And she rotates every year, and it's fantastic. We love our snowbirds.
And I think you had a lady from Puerto Rico that was kind of
I still do. She's 101.
Oh my goodness, she was great. She used to sing during our Christmas Kids shows there.
Yep, she's still here. Loves it. She's not going anywhere else.
It's wonderful. Oh, what a neat lady. She really is. And you talk about somebody who has been around and knows history. She's it. It's amazing. That's the other thing, that you get the opportunity to hear some of these stories. And
we do.
If you only had time to write a book, seriously, some of these people, you talk about a wonderful life. That was it.
Very, very true. I have an assisted living resident that turns 104 this year.
Wow. That's so cool.
Yep. So it's fun to sit and listen and hear all the different stories. Even in my younger residents that are in their 80s and 90s, they have great stories that we get to hear too. So that's part of the great things about what we do, is to sit down and have the conversations and listen and learn from things that they did or places they went over the years. So it's very nice.
Yeah, because that would be the era right before jet planes and obviously space travel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Just to listen to the things that they've seen over the years and how the world has changed is really interesting at times.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, you had mentioned that you were looking for some employees, I take it?
Oh, yes. We actually had a great group of employees that started today through orientation, but we're always hiring. We need servers and caregivers and nurses. We keep a PRN pool so that if somebody doesn't want to work full time, we just offer them 1 day a month for them to come in and help out. So there's a lot of different options that we do offer, from shift differential for our evenings and night shifts to very competitive rates of pay. So we love our associates as much as we love our residents. We want to make sure that they are here. I have associates that have been here for 12, 13 years. So we try to maintain them as long as possible. In order to do that, we have to love them just a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's so funny because the lady at your front desk, I remember when her son was in grade school, and the first time we came into Harbor Place, and he's out, graduated, and
Oh yeah,
oh yeah, it's wonderful, and I think he's a fire person now. So
I
yeah,
believe so. Yep.
it's great. That's great.
Lots of staff that have been here for multiple years, and that's what it makes it feel more like home, because they're here all the time. They're here just as much as they are at home, so staff become like family.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Now, you had mentioned last week that you've got a couple upcoming events.
We do. The biggest one that's coming up next week on the 25th is our acupuncture event. So it's all about acupuncture, and it's going to be here in the building, and you'll get to find out about what the myths about acupuncture are. Then you'll get to find out what the benefits are. We will have an actual doctor that's an acupuncturist that will be here to talk about those things. And then we have a resident that's going to talk about her benefits and the things that she's gotten from acupuncture. So it's going to be a great event. It is an RSVP, so make sure you call the building 772-337-4330 and reserve your spot. Because with COVID outbreak, we still are watching the number of people that come into the building for events.
Oh yeah, I would imagine, and the numbers apparently are growing again. So hopefully, from what the health department folks say, that another 2 weeks and it'll be going back down again. It's like,
Yeah,
what a roller coaster. It's got to be for you.
it has been. And because our county positivity rate has gone up, we're not allowing visitors eating in our dining rooms or our happy hours because they have to take their masks down. So it's stressful. Residents, they want to eat with their families, and we allow them to eat in their apartments. We're just not opening in the dining room right now.
Well, and that makes perfect sense. It makes all the sense in the world, the way things seem to be going. I get it. Yeah, I get it.
We try to keep them as safe as possible. And so including us, when those of us that travel, we try to stay in our office and not as much into the community, just to keep them safe.
And I get that as well. Sure. Yeah, because I'm out a lot. And yeah, no, I get that a lot. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so if folks want to attend the acupuncture, sign up soon.
Yep. Soon go ahead and call and get your spot. It's 772-337-4330. And you just let them know that you want to RSVP for the acupuncture event, and they will put you down.
That sounds great. So you also mentioned another event that you would be having as well.
We are. So we're actually, I have another one to talk about. Actually, we're having a veterans a presentation, a seminar type thing that talks about what you can benefit from with the veterans and what you apply for, what you can get to help out with assisted livings or independent livings. And it's called Aid in Attendance. We will have a financial planner that will be here to do that and go over those things with you, because we want to make sure that everybody has the best information. And being a veteran, we have a veterans discount. We have all kinds of things that are geared towards a veteran, and we want to make sure that you know what's available to you, either with us or just in the community. We want to make sure you know what's available to you.
Well, that's phenomenal. And when's that event going to be?
That event is coming up. It's going to be, hold on just a second. Let me make sure I don't want to tell you the wrong date. It is coming up this month, and it's going to be on September 15th. I was thinking it was this month. We got a little ways. September 15th, 2 to 3. And again, that'll be by RSVP, same thing, 772-337-4330. And that's September 15th. And that is going to be our veterans benefit seminar, and you can come in and I'll find out about VA aid and attendance and what your benefit is.
Yeah, and that is so very important. And it seems like even if you were a veteran, sometimes that slips the mind, and it could
Does. And
certainly benefit you.
yes, and surviving spouses also have a benefit. If just because your spouse has passed away doesn't mean that you don't qualify for any type of benefit. If it is a husband and wife with a veteran, they can get upwards of $2,200 to help them live somewhere that, like in an independent or an assisted living. So it's a nice amount of money to help out with your day to days.
Oh yeah, you bet. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So again, it is um, sign up. It's by invitation here, so just sign
Just
up.
call.
Yeah, yeah, and
We like to fill the house when we have those type of presentations. We want everybody to know what's going on.
yep, yep, and I presume with some of the craziness now of COVID that the civic groups are they on hold right now for?
So no, we haven't put any civic groups on hold because they have to go through a questionnaire process when you come through the building, and then you're asked to wear a mask. And then once they're back in the meeting room, then we do, unless they have food, ask them to maintain their mask the whole time as well. But there is a screening protocol that we go through as well to make sure that we limit the amount of possible contaminations coming into the building.
You bet. Oh yeah, you've got to be careful. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
For folks who were not with us, tell us a little bit about your facility and
Sure.
what makes you so unique.
Well, we are a resort type community. We do have continuing care. So we have anywhere from independent living to assisted living, and then our sister property, which is on the same campus, which is Life Care Centers of Port St. Lucie. So you are able to transition from one to the other. We have anywhere from studio apartments and independent living all the way up to 2 bedrooms. And then in my assisted living, we have studio apartments and 1 bedrooms. We're 257 units, so we're a fairly large community. So it's 257 apartments between the two. It's 3-story buildings, pool, hot tub, shuffleboard courts, everything you can imagine. We offer it, or we try to do our best to get you somewhere that you can do it, and we transport you back and forth. So it's a great community. Like I said, it's been here for almost 20 years. And it's absolutely beautiful.
And I think the thing that's very important, and we have learned the hard way through hurricanes, you are a hurricane safe building. Nobody has to be evacuated because you're totally self-contained.
Correct. We don't evacuate until it's generally about a 4, and that takes a lot. And that's because we are a concrete block building, 3 stories. We have hurricane rooms, which were mandated several years ago by the state, and we actually put them in our independent living as well. So we have rooms that even when the power goes down and the generators are up, the generators still pump to the ACs, and so those rooms are cooled. They're still maintained so that residents have the ability to stay. Now, that doesn't say there are a lot of families that come and get their loved ones during hurricanes. Because there was such a bad reputation in Florida several years ago. But we're perfectly safe here. We transport by buses if we have to leave, and we go to hotels in the Atlanta area or away from the storm as much as possible.
That's great. Okay. Yeah, that's really good news. And it just seems like we have a freight train full of storms the last few weeks. And of course, Grace is out there right now. But I think the one thing you touched on is very important because there are a lot of facilities around, but the continuum of care is so important.
We do. The only thing we do not offer is a memory care. But in the state of Florida, you can still be in an assisted living up until you're no longer safe to maintain in an unlocked unit. So you do have a long time period that we're able to keep you in the assisted living portion. But other than that, we do from independent living to assisted living, and then again with our sister company next door at Life Care.
Yeah, Very nice. Well, I was thinking of your pool the other day too, as a matter of fact.
It's at a cool 85 degrees. And
Oh yeah, bath water.
oh yeah, and our hot tub stays at right at 100. So residents love it. Even during the winter, it's heated, so they're able to go outside and still maintain the pool.
That's great. Well, tell us about obviously, the exercising and stuff like that. You've got a training room in the back, and
Do. And then we have a great lifestyles program. Anything they do cardio drumming. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a big exercise ball, and they have drumsticks and they drum along with songs, and it's all cardio, but they're just using their arms. They're sitting in a chair. They can choose to stand up if they want to, but most of them sit, and they have so much fun. It's different songs from different eras, and they're able to. I think one of them is they do the twist while they're banging on the ball, and it's a lot of fun. We've gone in there and played with them. Our staff goes in and plays while they do it. We have chair Zumba, which is so much fun as well. You get to just do Zumba from the chair, and residents just laugh and cut up, talking about their two left feet. So it's a lot of fun, and we still maintain that exercisability all at the same time.
of course, and that's in addition to that room with all
Oh
the
yeah.
all the green shades, and that's the serious bingo players.
Yes, we will never take away people's bingo. Bingo is a hot commodity around here. We do bingo a lot.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, bingo will never go away.
Yeah, I remember when we were setting up for one of the Christmas kids shows, the lady came in and said, "Oh, she was loaded. She really had a great night at bingo the night before." I thought that was so funny. Yeah, it's great.
Hysterical. And it's not like they pay for an enormous amount of money. They play for whatever they want to play with, but it's quite comical when they win. I think the first time I actually played with them, I won the first game, and they weren't real happy with me.
Uh-oh. You just got tossed out of the group, I'll bet.
Yeah, well, when I play, I pay to play like they do, but I don't take the pot. I let the pot roll over to the next game. So the people after me that win really love me.
Nice move on your part, believe me.
Yep.
Oh boy. Well, I just think it is so important. And the title of the show, Never Alone, because the older you get, and I notice this too, sometimes you're not quite as certain as you used to be, like in your middle ages. And I get that. And in having a group setting, you're not alone. And I think that's a real good key.
Yeah, even when we quarantine to the building, or we stop visitors, no one, unless they're actually have COVID, is required to stay in their apartment. So it's never to the point where anyone is ever alone. There's so much group activity going on, unless we absolutely have to shut it down, which we try not to do anymore, and we haven't in a while. So yes, never alone here.
And what is nice about the independent living, and I was talking with one of your folks who was almost 100. She regularly drives down to the botanical gardens in Port St. Lucie.
Yeah.
And she was a volunteer there, and I was thinking, wow, this is what I'd like to be when I'm in my 80s.
I know, and we were actually talking about we were talking about staffing earlier. Walmart greeters are your older clientele, and so we've even started our front desk and things like that we can hire that are the elderly population that still want to work. Come on in. We want you to be involved. We want you to still be independent, and if that means working 1 or 2 days a week to keep yourself motivated, then come on, by all means.
Yeah, and I think the key is the brain activity, just keeping that going. There's no doubt about it.
Yep, very much so.
Well, tell us about you've also got like a library, and you have been refurbishing, I guess, your beauty salon, I take it.
Yes. We are going through a complete remodel in the assisted living side, and about 3/4 in the independent living side. Most of it is being renovated, but we have all kinds of stuff. You name it, we've got it. But we do with the salons. Sorry, my mind just went out the window for a second. The salons, we are in the process of hiring a new hairdresser that will be able to come in and work in the salons. They're both now completely renovated. Our dining room on the independent living side is completely renovated. We're about to start our dining room in our assisted living side. So just lots of updates. I mean, we are a 20-year-old building, removing wallpaper and just doing paint instead. You know how those wonderful things go. But very nice renovation, and it is almost done on the assisted living side, and then we'll come out of there and work on the independent. But assisted living is just about complete, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Well, I remember we used to do our show in the dining area. It's really magnificent.
Yeah, lots of columns. That was the one thing I remember when I first got here was thinking, man, outside looks very resort hotel-like. When you come in, you still have that hotel-like feeling with the columns and the grand entryways. It is absolutely beautiful.
Well, and tell us a little bit about the laundry service. I mean, how does or
Sure.
housekeeping in general work?
Yeah, so we're much like any other assisted living. You're going to have housekeeping as part of your as your room and board, basically. We come in once a week, we clean the apartment, we dust, do basic cleaning, and then once a month, we usually do a deeper clean. And then if you wanted something on top of the basic that we do, you are able to purchase another cleaning during the week for your loved one or for yourself. And same thing in the independent living side. We come in once a week, we dust, we vacuum, basic cleaning. And then if you wanted a deeper clean, or if you wanted a multiple clean during the week, then you can ask for that. And then, but that one is a charge because it is above and beyond the normal. Same thing, laundry on assisted living. We do laundry as part of your plan of care. On the independent living side, we do your towels and sheets when we do your cleaning day. Anything above that, then you can ask and there is a charge for it, or you can do your own laundry on both sides as well.
Yeah, well, that's nice. Well, at least once a week, the towels and sheets, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. I would love for someone to come in and clean my house once a week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you make house calls?
Right? House calls would be fantastic.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And what always impressed me is that you've got so many readers there, whether it's
We do.
books, magazines, newspapers. It's like a lot of folks are
Yes.
still reading.
We do. We have a lot on our independent side. We have a library on every single floor. And so that helps tremendously. And so it is a lot of things going on in those libraries. And they're actually self-maintained with the residents. So they take care of them. Books are donated, they separate them, they put them between floors. And they keep up with it, and it's fantastic. They're absolutely beautiful, and lots of things going on.
That's great. Well, you ready to take a little break here?
Sure.
Okay, we'll take a little 1-minute break here, and a message for Harbor Place, where you're never alone. Discover a luxurious lifestyle. Discover Harbor Place in Port St. Lucie, offering the finest in independent and assisted living. Do you want to spend your golden years maintaining a home, cleaning a house? Not at Harbor Place. The experienced staff at Harbor Place takes care of everything so you can enjoy all that the community has to offer. Call 772-337-4330 for a tour of the gem of senior living on the Treasure Coast. Are you or your parents swimmers? Enjoy the beautiful outdoor pool. After your swim, enjoy fine dining with your friends. And don't forget to explore the Treasure Coast, from hiking trails to numerous golf courses. Active seniors enjoy Harbor Place. You can join them too. 337-4330. Harbor Place, and welcome home.
This is WPSL Port St. Lucie, the talk of the Treasure Coast.
Well, you're never alone at Harbor Place. Jack Waldrop, the executive director at Harbor Place, is with us. And Jack, what impresses me a lot, and you hear a lot of folks in the independent side talking about various golf games. So you've got some folks going out and playing golf, huh?
We do. We have a couple that play golf, and then we have a gentleman that goes and plays pickleball religiously.
Whoa!
Twice a week. So there's he as well as two others that go and play golf together as well. So we have a lot of go-getters. They like to still go out there and do things and be involved in the community. And I had one resident that up until COVID still worked at the hospital as a receptionist. So just because you're in an independent living doesn't mean you don't have a life anymore. So they want to continue to go and do, and they just don't want to cook for themselves anymore or clean things. So I totally understand where they're coming from.
No, I get it. There's no doubt about it. Yeah,
Yep.
It makes perfect sense. Well, now, where do they go to play pickleball?
Honestly, I don't know exactly where it is. I believe it's in Jensen Beach.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So he goes down there and plays. He's in a league and they play, and I've seen pickleball. I don't have any idea how to play it. I've just watched people play it. But he has fun with it, and it keeps him busy and it keeps him exercising. So it's all good.
Well, and that's a key, because I mean, I think one of the things that, you actually want people to do is stay fit.
Yes, and as independent as they can be. We want them to stay functioning and in that higher level of functioning as long as possible. So, you lose those functions as you stop doing them. People say all the time, oh, well, they're older, they don't want to go do those things. We always want to encourage people to go do things. The less you do, the less you're able to do. Stay active as possible and continuing to do things as long as you can.
Now, I don't think we talked about utilities last week. Are those
all
included?
Yeah.
All included. Wow.
Yeah. The only thing that's not included is your telephone. We have basic cable, power, water, all that's included. You just have to take care, and most have their own cell phones at this point. So very little have actual in what we call them in-room phones, because they use their cell phones.
Sure. Oh yeah. Everybody's using cell phones now. It was so funny. We have a show on Friday with a rabbi who's also a college professor at IRSC. She brought in a rotary phone.
Oh my.
Not one of those 30 students knew what it was or how to use it.
Do you even make them anymore? I mean, do you have to go to antique stores to find them? I didn't even know.
I know. It's so funny, and she was saying, this is how you make calls. And They looked at her like she had three heads.
I remember my grandmother's that was in the kitchen, and it had the longest phone cord ever, so that she could walk around and do what she needed to do, but still able to be on the phone.
And the phone was on the wall, right?
Yes, it was attached to the wall. Sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, it's amazing, Well, that's perfect if utilities are picked up as well. That's great.
Yeah. And like I said, and our basic cable is like 65 channels. So it's not like it's pitiful cable either.
Yeah. Well, hey, sounds good to me. Well, tell us about the events again. We got new folks turning into the show all the time.
All right. So coming up next week, we have our acupuncture event. And that's going to be all about acupuncture, where you can find out the benefits and debunk the myths that are surrounded around acupuncture. That's going on at 1 p.m. next Wednesday, the 25th. Then on the 15th, we have our veterans seminar, where it's going to go over all of the aid and attendance that you are eligible for, what you need, who you have to go see, all of those wonderful things, with a financial planner that will be here to talk about them as well. And then we haven't set the date yet. It's probably going to be the end of September. We will have our Breaking the Stigma presentation, and that's going to be all about how to plan for assisted livings, what to look for when you're going to assisted livings, the different stages that you deal with loved ones or with your parents as they're going through them. It's a really good presentation. I've done it before, and we're just going to talk about different things and how to talk through things and things that you may encounter along the way. So those are kind of our three big events that are coming up. And then also last part of September, 1st of October, we will have our big bingo with stars. And we're going to have a star come in and call bingo, and that'll be open to the public as well. So that'll be coming out here in the next couple of weeks on what the date of that one is.
That sounds great. Yeah. Well, that I think the important thing, the stigma thing, if there's any way possible, shoot it on video, turn it into a webinar, because that is very, very important.
It is. And like I said, I go through the 4 stages of denial, and what the different stages that they go through. Because a lot of times you'll go through stage 1, 2, and then all of a sudden we're back at 1 again. It's just like the grieving process, because they in ways are grieving that they're leaving their home, they're leaving the lifestyle that they were used to, and coming to something totally new. So we do talk about those and kind of the questions around them and how you can help answer them and lead your loved one in the right direction. So it's a really, really good presentation.
Well, and there again, as you do have a lot of residents that have been there for a long time, they can kind of help with that too. If you're brand new, it's almost like being a freshman in college,
Right. It is. And, it's funny. I've said so many times on tours, it's like a big fraternity and sorority house here, because it's starting over, but you make all your friends. They're just 2 doors down. And it's a lot easier than having to get in the car and go somewhere when you can just walk down the hallway and knock on someone's door.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it whatsoever. Obviously, you have 24-hour emergency service if you need it.
We do. In our assisted living side, we have nursing 24/7 along with care. And then we have a security guard 24/7 or in the evenings over at the independent living side, which comes on about 8:30. But we have someone in the building 24 hours a day over on the independent as well. So it's 24 hours a day, no matter how you look at it. And then the dining rooms are open for 3 meals a day in the assisted living, and 3 meals a day currently in the independent living. So it's all you could hope for, I promise.
Now, do you, I thought I remembered seeing a private dining room. Do you still have that?
Yeah, we have private dining rooms on both sides. So assisted and independent living. And that's for people that want to have a small gathering with their loved ones, 3 or 4 guests and don't want to sit in the dining room. It's a little bit quieter. And so they're able to use that use those private dining room areas.
Yeah, I remember talking to one of your residents and she was having family and grandkids coming over and they were going to use that. Yeah.
Yeah. And we have been in the past, and we aren't quite back to that yet, offering our meeting room for parties and big events like that. Right now it's just civic groups. Just because families with small children and things of that nature, it's a little bit harder to control. So we are staying with just civic groups right now, but hopefully eventually we can get back to renting it out for parties as well.
Yeah, and of course, COVID has kind of changed all the ground rules along the way.
It has for sure.
But and that's the other thing, that I noticed when I was there. The screening is really efficient, and the temperature and stuff like that. So you're really, really taking care of the outsiders coming in.
We are. So the state and the assisted living side mandates a set of questions that we have to go through with the temperatures and things of that nature. We take it one step further. We purchased a system called AccuShield, where you check in with your phone number. It tells us that you're in the building. If your temperature doesn't meet regulations, then it automatically sends myself, my assistant ED, and my business office director a message that your temperature is above what it needs to be. It does all of that for us, and the set of questions are on there, so there's no manual forgetting. You have to do it. If you don't answer something right, it automatically sends us a message saying, hey, you've got someone at the front desk that doesn't need to come into the building.
Ooh, does that happen very often?
It does. I mean, you have some, and we have some leadway, I guess is a good way to put it. Depending on how they answer the questions. We can't ask you for a COVID vaccine. That is, the governor doesn't allow us to do that. But we can ask you if you've been around someone that has been diagnosed with COVID, how long were you around them? Like there's a set of questions depending on how you answer questions to go into a little bit to determine if there's a possibility that you are infected, or if we can allow you to go ahead and come into the building. But it does.
I get it. You got to keep people safe.
Yeah. And it happens a lot with the home health agencies, with physical therapists, because they are seeing people in multiple areas, in multiple communities, and things come up. So it helps us maintain a better record of who's in the building. It's a computer program, so we can look at it to see when the last time someone was in the building, if we find out they were they were exposed. So it's a much easier way to maintain it.
So it almost acts as contact tracing as well, almost.
It does. Yeah. And we can run emergency reports off of it. So if someone, say we have a fire in the building, we can double tap on the screen, and it'll automatically bring us up and show us who's in the building, who's out of the building, what extra people are in the building because they've checked in, all of that. So it has multiple features, but the fact that it does do the temperature checks and it does run through the COVID questions makes it a lot easier as well.
Wow. That's phenomenal. That new technology now can really assist you in doing your job.
It can. It really can. I've had this particular system in previous buildings. And then when they came out with the COVID update where it checked temperatures, it was like no brainer. We need to get it because it just helps tremendously.
Well, now, if someone was considering this and say, like you said, you've got snowbirds in there. Is this monthly? Is it annual? Is it every 6 months?
It's a month contract. And so all you have to do is provide a 30-day written notice that lets us know that, hey, I'm going to end my contract. You're only financially responsible for the 30 days from that point forward. And then after that, once the apartment is emptied, then we stop charging you. So it is completely up to you. It is a quote yearly lease, as that we do renew them yearly, but all you have to do is provide a 30-day notice. So in all intents purposes, it's really a month to month. You just have to sign it yearly.
Right. No, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Yeah. That's phenomenal. And you're centrally located, right near St. Lucie Medical Center.
We are.
And I guess folks are pretty close to their doctors at that point.
That we are. So we're only about 6 miles from Stewart too. So it's not bad. We can go either direction. It takes us just as long to get to downtown Stewart as it does to St. Lucie West. So we're perfectly located. It is. We're perfectly located. So when we're doing transports, we have certain days that we go to certain areas to make it easier on everybody, but we are very centrally located right on US 1.
I know you used to like go on shopping excursions. I mean, as
Still
COVID,
do. Yep.
really, you're still doing it. Okay, good.
Yeah, we had stopped them for a while, but they have started back up. So we're back going to Walmart and Walgreens and the Dollar Tree and different places of that nature. And so I love being able to offer those again so that residents can get out of the building. For a good 18 months, they were just here, and that was hard. It's
Yeah.
hard on them.
Yeah, and it's the whole situation was really difficult to see, especially when you looked up in the New York area and see those older facilities and
Yes.
how they had to handle things.
Yep. Washington State too. I mean,
Yes.
it was rough for a long time, and we're in 19 different states. Our company is, and so we have to maintain a set of I guess, rules for ourselves that can flow across 19 states. That can be difficult because some states do things totally different when it comes to COVID than other states do. So of course we have our protocols, and then if the state supersedes that, if it's a more stringent protocol, then that's what we have to follow. But operating in 19 states, 43 communities, it can be time consuming for sure.
Wow. And it seems like, you do have various political factions that you have to deal with in the state capitol that I would imagine would be a real challenge for you.
Yeah, it gets to be a little frustrating at times because we'll have a building. I'll be on a call in a building in, say, Colorado, where they've had to do testing twice a week on staff and residents. So, and we have some here, we only test if you are not vaccinated or if you're showing symptoms. So I feel bad for them that they're testing 2 days a week, but at the same time, they had a lot of cases of COVID there, just as well as we did. But you're also not seeing the rise there like you are here.
Yeah, it's amazing. Well, I think you're certainly on the right track in that, you're still, the people are getting out if they
Yes.
can, and living life as normal as it can
As
be.
possible. Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. And we still have residents that drive, and we've talked about that. And with our covered parking and things, we want everybody to maintain that. There's a lot of 55 and older communities around town, from buy-ins that you buy a house, you have rental homes and 55 and olders. But it just depends on what you're looking for as to what you can do.
Yeah. And, I think the one thing that does impress me seriously is the fact that, you can come back year after year and find people in your population that just, they don't want to leave. They're having a great time.
Yes. And it makes going from, I still have some that go from independent living and they end up transferring over to assisted living. And it's hard just going from one side to the other, but they know that it's still the same area.
Do you ever have instances of people that come back the other way and that go to assisted living for a while and maybe come back independent, or no?
It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
But we do have some, say they have to go out and have surgery, and they will go to rehab, and then they'll do a respite for a couple of weeks and assisted until they're back on their feet, and then they'll come back to independent living. But for the most part, after a big major surgery, they end up staying in the assisted living side.
Which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It seems like you have got it all there at Harbor Place, and it is. It's a resort community.
Yes, for sure. With beautiful palm trees everywhere.
Yep. And the phone number has been the same forever. 772-337-4330 at Harbor Place. Yep. Right on Jennings Road.
That's us.
That definitely is you. Do you have any internet areas that somebody might even be able to utilize a computer or something?
Yeah, you can go to centurypa.com, and that will actually get you to our main corporate site, and then search through Florida, and you'll find we have 4 communities here in Florida, and just select on Harbor Place at Port St. Lucie. We're the only one in this area with that name. So just keep that in mind when you go in looking. It's Harbor Place at Port St. Lucie, and you will find us, and there's all kinds of pictures, different aspects, and you can get request information on there as well.
And what I liked on the website as well is you also have the diagrams of your units.
Yes, we do. We have floor plans. Yeah, our most recent updated floor plans through the remodel with the tile and new carpeting areas are all on there as well. And there's a lot to choose from, especially in the independent living side. There's about 9 different floor plans throughout the entire building. So just take a look. And like I said, from studios to 2 bedrooms on the independent side, studios and 1 bedrooms on the assisted living side, and all those floor plans are on the internet.
Well, and a lot of folks who are out driving around saying, well, you know, I think my parents are really going to need something like this. That's where you come in, and it's just
Yes, come visit us. We're always open for tours 7 days a week. We prefer that you call and schedule it, but that doesn't mean that we won't take you if you just walk in the door. We'll definitely walk around with you, give you some information, and get you set up and get people moved in as quickly as possible.
That sounds great. Well, again, hit those events that you've got coming up.
So we got on the 25th, we have our acupuncture event. We'll talk about the myths around acupuncture and then what the benefits are. The 15th of September is our veterans seminar, where we're going to go over the aid and attendance and what you qualify for and how you do that. And then towards the end of September, we're going to have our Breaking the Stigma presentation, which talks about what assisted livings are, the common misconceptions about them being skilled nursing facilities. And then we'll have Bingo with the Stars in October. So a lot coming on, lots coming up, so that we can get people involved and get you into the building and take a look at what's going on.
Now, do you have like regular classes in the fitness area for everybody?
So we do for our residents. And then if you want to participate, you're welcome to on certain ones, like our chair Zumba and our cardio drumming. We do allow people to come in and exercise with. We're going to go towards getting some exercise classes as the spike in COVID comes back down again. We're going to utilize Bethany, who is our certified therapeutic recreational specialist, and let her do some outside exercise activities with, as long as we have a lot of participation and it's worthwhile, then we will continue to start to do that as well.
Oh, wow. So that hopefully down the road would be open to the public then, huh?
That's the plan.
Wow.
Yep.
Hey, sign me up.
It'll be fun. It is a lot of fun for sure.
And of course, you have the world-class Shuffleboard Court.
We do brand new resurfaced Shuffleboard courts, and they're absolutely wonderful. We have a group that plays on Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. It's about 10 people that go out and play every Thursday morning, as long as it's not raining, which here lately it's been a ton of rain.
Yeah, and a ton of storms, but hopefully we'll hit November and hurricane season will be finally over. Huh?
No kidding.
Wow. And again, we can't say it enough. You are fully contained and all power backed up. So you're ready.
We are. Of course, just everybody has the same standards where we have a certain amount of food that we keep in the building, all of those sorts of things that are regulated by the state. And then we have our hurricane rooms, which the generators do pump power to the ACs so that those rooms stay cool. And everything is good to go during storms. We don't generally leave unless the storm is really bad. So anywhere, it'd have to be about a 4 for us to leave, and that doesn't happen very often. So we try to maintain in our current space. Leaving with residents and with loved ones is difficult, and it makes it harder on those residents. So we try not to leave them move as much as possible.
Sure. And that makes perfect sense. And again, looking at the strength of that building, you're
Been here for
pretty
20
safe.
years.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're safe. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause there's some that were like wood constructed facilities that, you know, they just get out of Dodge. That's all.
Yeah, we're not. We are completely cinder block and 3 stories, very, very tough. Stucco on the outside. It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
There's no doubt about it. Well, again, the dining room, I have to go back to the food because the food is truly amazing and obviously healthy for the residents.
Yes, we do a no salt added diet. So everything that comes to the tables, I have no salt added to them. It's just natural salts. And then the residents are able to add salt and do things of that on their own to their own taste. Because if you can imagine with 257 apartments, it can be difficult to make to everybody's taste buds be exactly the same. So things are salted at the table or seasoned at the table. So it's to their liking.
Yeah, that sounds good. The no salt added is very, very important when
Yes.
you get up in years. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. I mean, you're still a kid.
I wish.
Oh, don't we all? Well, Jack, how can we get in touch with you at Harbor Place?
Give us a call, 772-337-4330. Just ask for someone in the sales department. Myself, Pat, or Anita will give you a call back and we will get you set up to come in and visit.
That sounds great. Well, Harbor Place, where you're never alone. And that's so very important when you're kind of getting up there. And we'll see you next week.
All right. See you then.
All right. Jack Waldrop, Executive Director, Harbor Place, never alone on WPSL, Port St. Lucie, talking the Treasure Coast, webcaster to the world on Alexa, Google Home, and worldwide on TuneIn. It's 12 o'clock.